And we're back here on Fox 59 tonight. I'm Cameron Ridle here with the mayor of Lawrence. Madam Mayor Deb Whitfield is here in our studio, and she has some good news coming your way. If you drive through Lawrence, if you ride through Lawrence, if you go there at all, you will soon, if you haven't been there, you'll see infrastructure improvements. Of course, one of the biggest ones that is hard to miss is that big green bus riding down that long red road of the Purple Line, which now connects downtown Indianapolis with Lawrence. Mayor, that alone has been a big deal for people who now have a rapid transit to get to and from Lawrence. How has that been now that it's I can't. I don't think it's been quite a year. It's been since the fall since that launched. But what's the impact been that you've already seen?
So the city of Lawrence, we're still very excited about the Purple Line, the connectivity from Indianapolis, Lawrence, and downtown is just going to be an exceptional opportunity. It's connecting all points of Lawrence to the the A line, and getting us downtown. It's an opportunity for people to come out to Lawrence.
Hmm.
We have the state park in Lawrence. And so you can ride the Purple Line out here. Come join the park, enjoy the park. We have bicycles. We have a lot of things that you could do out in the park and in the city of Lawrence and have a great time. And get
Uh,
back on the Purple Line and head back downtown.
the Purple Line. I mean, it literally connects you. You've got your red line. You've got all of your different lines take you down to the transit center.
Hmm.
But you guys, so there's plenty of stuff in downtown Indy to go to. But you've got quite a bit going on in Lawrence, including so lots of growth over there at Ivy Tech, and I know you want to see more.
We do. One of the things that you'll see us do is more events in the city of Lawrence. We want to become a recreational destination point. So this summer, we have a couple of things. We'll have our second barbecue and blues in the summer nights. We're excited about that. We're also hosting now. Heartland Film Company is headquarters is in Lawrence. That's Heartland Film, and we have four opportunities this summer to see starry movies under the light at night, as you want to say, in Lawrence on our cultural campus. We're going to do two date night movies. Last year we did Breakfast at Tiffany. It
Hmm.
was a great night. It was a great evening. You could bring out your basket of food and goodies and a blanket and sit out under the stars and watch the movie. So this year we're going to have four. We're going to do two family event nights and two date nights. And we want people to come out. This is a partnership with Heartland Film Company, and we're so excited about this. You know, one of the things that we're also going to be doing is I talked about the farmers market from June to October, every Thursday from 4 to 6, 7 o'clock. You know, those are great evenings to come out. We're going to have locally grown vegetables. I know in the summer, towards the early fall, we have corn and tomatoes, just a lot of produce. But we also have other vendors there, and we have entertainment there too. So there's a lot of opportunities to see things to do in the city of Lawrence.
Is all of this free? The movies in the park, is this free or is this going to cost something?
Oh no, this is free. This is free. This is
Okay.
going to be a fun family filled night.
And how'd you get this idea?
Well, originally I'm not from Indiana.
Hmm.
I'm from Connecticut.
Hmm.
And I remember when we were growing up, my family would take us into Central Park once during the summer vacation, and we got to watch black and white films in Central Park and have a picnic there. And I just thought that's something that we should do here in Lawrence because of Heartland. And they are a great partner, and they were excited to join us. And we're looking forward to this year doing four movie nights.
How about that as something that obviously you remember from when you were a little girl? That's the kind of memory that you want people to say, "Hey, we did this in the park in Lawrence when we were young," right?
Yes, I do. I want memories.
uh, good memories and good memories. You guys have a lot of land out there. You mentioned in your state of the city that people may not realize that you're on a fort. So there's lots of green space. What do you want to see with that? Because you've got some initiatives involving uh, keeping the parks beautiful and all that as well.
Yes, we have 12 parks in the city of Lawrence. And we are developing and working right now on a Lawrence Park master plan. And part of that master plan is revitalizing Lawrence Community Park on Franklin Road. And so with that, we're also looking at, is there space, is there an area for an amphitheater?
Hmm.
What does our soccer fields look like? So there's a lot of things that we feel that we can do. We also have trails. We were very fortunate to earn some grant funding for trails. So we have a trail that was just finished last year. And so we're looking at that on Lee Road, that park. We already have pickleball courts out there on Lee Road Park. But what else can we do in that park? So like I said, we have 12 parks in Lawrence.
Hmm.
All of them are uniquely in different neighborhoods of our 8 distinct neighborhoods. And what can we do to entice not only our residents, but bring people to the city of Lawrence?
You also talked about improvements on the roads. That's something that, especially this time of year, when it's freezing, then it's thawing, and it's freezing, and it's thawing. So there's potholes, and what I always explain to people is there are levels to this. So the your NDOT takes care of the interstate. And your federal roads and your state roads, and then you've got DPW in Indianapolis that does the city streets, and then if you're in what we call an excluded city, like Lawrence or some of the others that have Beech Grove that have their own resources. You have your team who's also doing your city streets as well. You're making some investments, one, and doing a lot of paving. So let's start there.
Yes. So first of all, like I said the other night, let's understand the difference between the City of Lawrence streets and Pendleton Pike, which is US 36, which is NDOT, which probably is one of the first exit off of 465 into our thoroughway into the City of Lawrence. That is NDOT. That is a state that they take care of that.
Hmm.
One of the things I forgot to mention, how you could tell the difference between NDOT and
Oh,
the city of
I
Lawrence
know what you're going to say.
is Lawrence has blue signs that
Hmm.
says City of Lawrence, and our signs are blue. Those streets are the City of Lawrence. That's our responsibility. So let's talk about potholes. You know, even if you come up to the train track, if there's a pothole there, that's
Hmm.
CSX. So you need to call them. But you know what? What's so important is we want to make sure that if you don't have those numbers, call us and we'll direct you. But just understanding the differences in the state, in the city, and Indianapolis
Hmm.
thoroughways
Hmm.
makes a big difference.
And I'm glad you mentioned the railroad tracks because that's something that I did know that hey, we can pave this street all day, but that stretch on the railroad tracks is the responsibility of the railroad.
Yes, it is.
Um, how can th- so I knew where you were going with the signs, and because once you go to Indianapolis, the signs are either white or green depending on
Correct.
where you are. And so the how do you guys as a city back down on the city level, you've got your own street department and
Hmm.
street team, um, that's something that you have to run. So if I have an issue with street being plowed or a pothole being filled, do I take that to Indianapolis Marion County DPW? Do they do any of that, or is that all Lawrence?
So as long as it's in the city limits, it's all Lawrence. So you can call, you can visit our webpage, and there's a number there that you can call, or there's also a form on our webpage that you can fill out and let us know, notify us that you have issues, whether it's a pothole, snow removal. You know, we had one of the largest snowfalls
Hmm.
this past winter, about 10 inches.
Hmm.
We had 247 lane miles that our snow removal team, along with our Lawrence utility team, they moved and pushed snow off of our thoroughway so that our residents can get to school, get to doctor's appointment, grocery stores, anything. So we really, really take care of our streets, our infrastructure. But we also have to understand that Lawrence is a decommissioned fort.
Hmm.
And so when we talk about infrastructure, we also need to talk about our Lawrence utility. And I don't want to be remiss. I do want to talk about what we had recently, where
Hmm.
we had a water main break.
Hmm.
We have to understand 1970, some of our pipes date back to 1970. We had a water main break. We followed the information that we needed to do, but we also found out that it was very important for us as a city to look at technology to make sure we got information out sooner and faster to our residents. So that's something that our utility folks under my leadership is looking at. What other technologies out there that we can get information out to our residents? Yes, we had to do a boil advisory, but it did, we wanted to make sure everyone was protected.
Well, and of course, water main breaks is not something that's just unique to Lawrence. We just had a massive one on the near east side of Indianapolis. That's what happens when it gets cold and warm and cold and warm. Those pipes
Hmm.
span and contract just like potholes do. And with age, they crack. It's quite natural. But I know the big concern, because you and I talked when that happened, was you wanted to make sure everybody knew what was happening and what that the city was aware of it. And here's what you should do to keep yourself safe. So I know in the state of the city, you mentioned that you're looking at different ways, some communication programs, some devices that you can send alerts to your residents. What might that look like?
We haven't fully identified that. We are in the research frame right now, looking at what other cities have done and what's available technology. We hit the waves: radio, television, media, press release, Facebook. I can go down the list.
Hmm.
Um, Still wasn't enough. We wanted to make sure we get it out there. So there's so much other technology alerts that we can do. So we're researching that. And once we find what works for Lawrence, then we'll make sure that hopefully we have the funds and the finances to make it happen.
Well, you just mentioned works for Lawrence
Mhm.
and the streets, and the zoning is something, with you being inside of Marion County, your own city within a city county government. So that sometimes creates, not sometimes, it does create an additional layer and can make things difficult sometimes. You guys sounds like you're having some zoning control things that you want to
Mhm.
address and keep in Lawrence. What's that about?
Okay, so Lawrence, the city of Lawrence, does have our own uh, zoning board,
Hmm.
our BZA, where we have permits and things like that come to that. But sometimes what can happen is if someone is not happy with our decision, they still have an opportunity to go down to Indianapolis and they can override us. So, what we're doing is we're working with the Indianapolis for an interlocal agreement so that we will have autonomy of our zoning efforts, so that this is Lawrence and we can make the decisions in Lawrence that will be respectful, that'll be for the future of the Lawrence and the Lawrence residents. I want to make sure that we tonight also direct people to Lawrence website. It's www.cityoflawrence.org, because that's very important for transparency, communication, and honesty that I talk about constantly with my team and with residents that I meet. We also have Facebook, we have Instagram and Twitter.
Um, Mayor, I know one other thing that you're also proud of, because you highlighted them in the at your address, is the children and the students in the school district there in the Metropolitan School District of Lawrence Township. Um, how great they had just got an award. I know it was a girls team that won something, but you shouted them out. But just real quick, how great has the relationship been with the school district? I know the superintendent has been there, and I know when the water main break happened, that was one of the things that you were concerned about was how can the
Mhm.
kids get ready for school on Monday and make you wanted schools to be open. What's that relationship been like?
I think the relationship with Lawrence Township School System is a great relationship. Dr. Sean Smith and his team, we meet quarterly. We stay in contact. I could pick up the phone right now if I have an issue or he has an issue and we could talk directly. But what's so exciting is our school system has 17,000 students
Mhm.
and we want to make sure that not only the city of Lawrence but the township we do everything possible to make sure they get the quality of education that they deserve. So it's not one or the other. We are a partnership. We collaborate and we make sure we stay in touch with each other.
Mayor, I'm going to ask you a question off the top of my head. Are you guys hiring in Lawrence in the city's office? You need folks to all the things that you're working on, from repairing streets and potholes to adding police officers. How can one find out about jobs in the city of Lawrence?
Well, yes, we are hiring. We do have some openings. And again, if you go to www.cityoflawrence.org and go to our career page, our positions are posted there. But right now, I can tell you we have positions in our utility, in our parks, in our streets, and in our finance, in our controller's office. So we do have positions open. So, yes. We have seasonal work too. We have a couple of intern positions that we're looking. We love the opportunity to mentor,
Mhm.
and so we have a couple of mentor uh, internships position open and available this summer too.
And any summer jobs at all for the
Yes,
students?
yes, seasonal summer jobs to help with all the events that we're doing in our
Mhm.
parks this year. Yes.
Okay. Mayor, it's been a pleasure talking to you. What would you like to leave the people with to understand if they don't know anything about Lawrence? They're from the complete opposite side. They live over in Brownsburg, or they're looking for a place that they want to call home. Why Lawrence?
Why Lawrence? Lawrence is a place where we still have affordable homes. We have a great school system. You have a mayor that believes in transparency, open commitment, honesty. I just happen to be a female, a woman at this time that is in an ordinary woman that's in an extraordinary opportunity. I feel blessed, but I'm one of you. And I want to make sure that I hear you, I listen, and that we make Lawrence a place that you are proud to live longer in Lawrence, where you work, live, and play. So thank you, Cameron, for this opportunity to share a little bit of an insight into what's happening in the city of Lawrence.
Well, I'm glad that you came. I think we just kind of we were able to go through pretty much your entire state of the city speech and dive deeper into each and learn a little bit about the why and what the need is. And you did make something in your state of the city that we didn't talk about. You said you want a steakhouse. Where's which steakhouse and who needs to come?
Um, yes, we didn't talk about that. We have the Benjamin that's going up on our 56th Street.
Hmm.
It's going to have 24,000 square feet of retail space. And we have another on the corner of Fort Bend. The Foam Craft is having a retail space there. So we have great opportunities for a steakhouse. Any developer that wants to come to Lawrence, come on.
All right, all right. Just make sure that there is a steakhouse in the plans. Put that up as a part of the RFP there, folks. That's
Yes.
directly from the mayor. Mayor Deb Whitfield, thank you again for coming on. Appreciate talking to you.
Thank you so much.
That is going to do it for this edition of Fox 59 tonight. Coming up here tonight on the app is the news at 10, anchored by me and Ethan. We'll have the weather and the news for you tonight. And then on TV, we'll be back with more news at 11. More conversations like this happen every Sunday morning on my radio show, 106.7 WTLC, and on Hot 100.9. The show is called Open Lines. We hope you join us, pick up the phone, and be part of the conversation. Until then, we'll talk on Sunday, and then we'll be back here next week for more Fox 59 Tonight.